What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we got a heavy hitter song battle. We got Joni Mitchell, Anthea versus Bob Dylan. 7 Curses brought to us by our friend, longtime patron and supporter of the channel, and really super fan of both of these artists, Osmond. Thank you as always, Osmond. Really do appreciate it. Let's dive in to some background on this, which mainly is what Osmond gave me. He knows this stuff. The Joni Mitchell comes from Joni Mitchell Archives, Volume 1, the early years, 63 to 67. This was recorded at a Saskatoon radio station in 63. Osmond says this is the same song, but Dylan's version is a rewrite he has done of the original Hungarian folk song. Osmond says it's an old folk song that exists in many versions from many different countries. The song goes by the name The Maid Freed from the Gallows Pole, or the names of these versions. Anthea is an English translation of the Hungarian version of the song. So let's dive in to Joni's version of this thing first. And Osmond says it was made famous by Judy Collins, but this version is from the earliest existing recording of Joni. About the recording of this version, in 1963, now retired radio DJ Barry Bowman of CFQC 600 lived with 3 of his friends in downtown Saskatoon, Canada. During that summer, Bowman and his friends met and befriended Joni Mitchell, who at the time was still going by her birth name of Joni Anderson. The group would frequently congregate with Mitchell at the large house they were renting, the local swimming pool, or the South Saskatchewan River, where they drank beer and ate hot dogs. One of Bowman's friends and co-tenants, Danny Evansheen, referred to that period as the time being the summer that Joni came to them. Evansheen is also attributed as being the person who encouraged Joni to take up playing the guitar, loaning her his guitar to play in lieu of her ukulele. Encouraged by Mitchell's budding talent, Bowman invited her to the radio station to record 9 traditional folk songs over the course of 2 nights. He gave her a copy of the audition tape and kept the masters, which were later unearthed by his ex-wife in 2015, probably where we got this, because I think this came out actually last year in 2020. So, little ground rules here. I'm sure this is going to be blocked because Bob Dylan stuff is automatically blocked. So check out the link below if you want to listen to both of these tracks. I'll just remove them both. So if you want to listen to both of these tracks, just check out the link below. You can listen along with me, see what you think. If you just want to know what I think, just hang out here. As always, I'll have the lyrics up. And once again, thank you, Osmond. Wow, Anthea, Joni Mitchell, a very young Joni Mitchell, a very first recording of Joni Mitchell from what I understand. What a song. Right? It starts out, Laszlo stole a stallion, stole him from the mountains. They caught him. In iron chains, they bound him. And then word went to his sister Anthea that her brother was in prison. Bring me gold and 6 fine horses. I will buy my brother's freedom. And then she goes to the judge. I'll give you gold and silver. He says, I don't want gold and silver. I want your sweet favors. So then Laszlo's talking to her. Oh, my sister, are you mad with grief and sorrow? He will rob you of your flower and hang me from the gallows. But she didn't listen. She went to the judge in his golden bed at midnight. Then she heard the gallows groaning. So he went ahead and hung her brother. Curses be that judge so cruel. 13 years may he lie bleeding. 13 doctors cannot cure him. 13 shells of drugs cannot heal him. So I'm guessing Anna killed him. And then ends Anthea, don't go out into the forest. There among the green pines standing, you will find your brother hanging. What a song. I know it's a traditional Hungarian song, but what a song. Interesting listening to Joni here, right? Obviously just acoustic, and we're just in this radio studio, and she's throwing some stuff down. She starts out really high in this kind of run going on. She kind of ends that way. Her voice sounds raw and very pure, right? Because she hadn't been singing a bunch. I like it. I think there are a couple times it gets too piercing for me, but I mean, it's brand new. You can't really judge her on this, right? She's just learning how to control her voice and come into her own, and we're kind of in the lab with her. So that was a really good performance and really cool to see that side of her. So now we're going to move on to 7 Curses from Dylan. The Dylan version is this according to Osmond, is a rewrite of the story by Dylan himself. It was recorded in the studio during the Times They Are Changing sessions, released on the Bootleg series, volumes 1 through 3. But I think the live version, released on Live 1962 to 66, Rare Performances from the Copyright Collections, is even better. The song tells the story of a brother or a father, depending on the versions, that is sentenced to death for stealing horses, and a sister or daughter pleading with the judge to save his life. So let's see how Mr. Zimmerman has changed this up. 7 Curses. Mr. Dylan turns it into a 9-verse song. Instead of the brother-sister, it turns into a father-daughter, which I think makes it even more of a troubling and difficult situation for the father. So I think that was smart. Starts out the same way. Old Riley stole a stallion. He's in jail. The daughter got the message. The father was about to ride, so she goes to the judge with gold in her hand. And when the judge, he saw Riley's daughter, his old eyes deepened in his head, saying, "Gold will never free your father. The price, my dear, is you instead." Verse 4, she goes to Riley, said, "Oh, I'm as good as dead. It's only you that he does crave, and my skin will surely crawl if he touches you at all. Get on your horse and ride away." Riley would rather die than have this guy touch his daughter. She says, "Oh, Father, you will surely die if I don't take the chance to try and pay the price and not take your advice. For that reason, I will have to stay." And then he doesn't say it happened in verse 6. He uses illusion, which I like. "The gallows shadows shook that evening. In the night, a hound dog bayed, so she gave in. In the night, the grounds were groaning. In the night, the price was paid." The next morning, she had awoken to know that the judge had never spoken. She saw that hanging branch had bent, and she saw her father's body broken. And then we get into the 7 curses in verse 8 and 9. There'll be 7 curses on a judge so cruel that 1 doctor cannot save him, that 2 healers cannot heal him, that 3 eyes cannot see him, that 4 ears cannot hear him, that 5 walls cannot hide him, that 6 diggers will not bear or cannot bury him, and that 7 deaths shall never kill him. So I don't know if he's instead condemned to be on this earth and suffer, but a nice takeoff. I mean, very similar, obviously, a very good song battle to choose because, you know, you've got the acoustic and 2 very young, raw voices in Joni and in Bob. I like them both. I like the way Bob changed up the song, but I also like the traditional version that Joni did. For me, it's close. I'm going to have to go with Dylan, but just slightly. But I don't know if that's a bias because I like Dylan better than Joni. I like them both. But maybe that's a bias. But really, you go either way on this one. But I'll go with Dylan because I got to pick a winner. And hey, it's only me here on this song battle. So that's who I'll go with. Osmond, I never asked you, what do you think? And guys, tell me what you think. Who won this thing? And give me any other thoughts on this or comments. And once again, always appreciate you guys for joining me. Thank you again, Osmond. Until next time, I will see you.